Hello, okay, and welcome to the continuation of answering every question in the book in order to make sure that all of the questions are right before they go on to be printed. So let's have a look and let's get started. Let me get up the first set of questions. Sorry, I'm always just checking the sound check at first. So let me... Yep, everything's good. So I'm going to continue with this. So here we go, look for remarkable. Screen share. And here we go. So we're on to topic 21 out of 70. And so this is non-calculator methods again this time. So I'm going to be using non-calculator methods to make sure that these are okay. But I will actually also double check my answers with the calculator because the purpose of this is to make sure that they're right for the book. Okay, so let's get cracking. Okay, so 21 is add and subtract decimal numbers without a calculator. What is the sum of 3.25 add 2.78? So I'm going to use a column method. So make sure that the points are aligned. And here we go. 5 add 8 is 13. 1 add 2 is 3, add 7 is 10. Put the decimal place in. 2 add 3 is 5, add the 1 is 6. And then let's just do the double check. Excellent, 6.03. And I should write that at the side anyway, just to make it clear. Okay, next one. Subtract 1.56 from 4.23. So 4.23 at the top, 1.56 below, because that's what we're taking away. 3 take away 6 we can't do, change that to a 1, turn that to a 13. 13 take away 6 is 7. There we go, let's just put that under there. Oh, what am I doing? 13, it's not 17, it's just 13 take away 6 is 7. Okay, next we've got 1 take away 5, that can't be done. So that goes to a 3, we turn this into an 11. 11 take away 5 is 6. And then 3 take away 1 is 2. So we've got 2.67 here. Let's check that that is correct. And so here we go. 4.23 take away, what is it? 1.56. Here we go. 2.67, so that agrees with that. Okay, here we go. Sorry, what's that? I just want to check something, I think. Yeah, okay, that's all good. Okay, right, so the next one we've got here is find the total when 6.7 is added to 9.84. So I'll put 6.7 here, 9.84 below it. Just as a side, if you've got decimals and they don't have the same number of decimals, you can just put zeros after the one with less decimals to make it look like you've got something to add to each other. So here we go. We've got 0 add 4 is 4, 7 add 8 is 15. 6 add 9 is 15. Add the 1 is 16. Okay, so that should be 16.54. Okay, and let me get out the calculator to check this. So we've got 6.7 add 9.84. There we go, 16.54, and that agrees with that, so that's great. Okay, next we've got subtract 5.32 from 10.5. So again, I'm going to put 10.5, but I'm going to put 10.50 just so they've got the same number of decimal places. And then below, I'm going to put 5.32. Now, 0 take away 2 can't be done, so I'm going to have to borrow 1 from the 5. So then we're looking at 10 take away 2. So 10 take away 2 is 8. So that will go there. And now here, I've got 4 take away 3, which can be done. That's 1. We've got here 0 take away 5. We can't do 0 take away 5, but we can do 10 take away 5, so we could just think about it like this. So 10 take away 5 is 5. And here we go, we've got 5.18. Now let's have a little double check. So we've got 10 0.5, take away 5.32. Yay, and it's the same. Okay, that's good. So we've got here 5.18. Right, lastly, question 5 we've got here. And question 5 says, what is the sum of 0.45? Oh, 3 things. Okay, right. That's fine. We just write them all on top of each other. So we'll do 0.45 here plus 1.23 plus 2.67. Okay, and then we've got 5 add 3 is 8, add 7 is 15. 4 add 2 is 6, add 6 is 12, add 1 is 13. And then we've got 1 add 2 is 3, and then add this extra 1 is 4. So that should be 4.35. Okay, so let's just check this on the calculator, and then we can check it with the answers. Okay, so we have got 0.45, add 1.23, add 2.67. Okay, here we go, and 4.35, so that agrees, which is good. Okay, right, let's go to the answers to check them all together, and then find out if these pages are okay. Where are the answers? Here they are. Right, so 21, and these were questions 1 to 5 on this first round. So 6.03, yeah, that's correct. 2.67, agreed. 16.54, agreed. 5.818, agreed. And 4.35, agreed. Okay, great. So let's have a look at the next round. So here we go. Remember, if you want any help on this topic, I've got videos here. So all of these QR codes, or on the website, you can find that these link directly to the topics. So, but let's just do this one here. So subtract 3.89 from 7.5. Okay, so I'm going to do 7.50 again, just so it looks like it's got the same number of things. Okay, 0 take away 9 we can't do. Okay, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to borrow from the 5. That'll become a 4, that'll become a 10. So 10 take away 9 is 1. 4 take away 8 we can't do, so I'm going to borrow from the 7, so that becomes a 6, this becomes a 14. And then 14 take away 8 is 6. Put a dot there. And then 6 take away 3 is 3. So this should be 3.61. Let me get out the calculator to check. So we have got... So here we're going to have 7.5 subtract 3.89. Yay, and that agrees, so I can give that a tick. Well, I can't tick it yet. Well, I can give it a black tick. I can't give it a red tick because we haven't double checked it with the answers. Okay, so next one we've got find the total when 4.6 is added to 3.21. So what I'm going to do here is, again, I'm going to just add the 0 after the 6. 4.60, add 3.21, and bring these together. So we've got 0 add 1 is 1. 2 add 6 is 8. 4 add 3 is 7. Remember to keep the decimal place in there. So that should be 7.81. Let's just check it with the calculator. So we've got 4.60, add 3.21. Yeah, so that agrees with that. And we'll check that with the answer later. Next, we've got subtract 2.34 from 5.67. So that means 5.67 is on the top. Subtract 2.34. Oh, this looks lovely. Okay, 7 take away 4 is 3. 3 take away 3. 6 take away 3 is 3. Decimal place goes in the same point. 5 take away 2 is 3. Excellent, so that should be 333. Let's have a look here. So we've got 5.67 take away 2.34. Yeah, and the calculator agrees as well. So that's 3.33. I'll just put that there and underline it so we know it's the answer. Right, we've got another 3 lot here, so we can do these. So we've got 0.89 plus 1.45 plus 2.78, and we're going to just add these together here. So let's do the 9 add 5 is 14, add 8 is 22. 8 add 2 is 10, add 4 is 14, add 7 is 21. Put the decimal place in. 1 add 2 is 3, add 2 makes it up to 5. So this is going to be 5.12. And then let's just check it on the calculator. So we've got 0.89, add 1.45, add 2.78. Okay, right, here we go, and that's 5.12, so that agrees nicely as well. Right, last question on the practice round for these, and then we'll go on to the scenario. So let's do 10.5, subtract 6.78 from 10.5. So what that's going to be here is we're going to have 10.5, I'll put the 0 in, take away 6.78, and then 0 take away 8 we can't do, so we're going to borrow 1 from here, and we're going to look at 10 take away 8. 10 take away 8 is 2, 4 take away 7 we can't do, but we can't actually borrow from the 0 either, so this becomes a 10, but then we borrow from that, that becomes a 9, this becomes a 14, so then we've got 14 take away 7 is 7, and then 9 take away 6 is 3, so the answer should be 3.72, and then we can just check on the calculator as well. So 10.5 take away 6.78, and that should be 3.72. Excellent. Right, so hopefully all these will agree with the answers. So let's go to the mark scheme. Here we go, and then let's get this screen share, and then we just need to, there you go, get the red pen out, and then let's see if they agree. So 3.61, yep. 7.81, yep. 3.33, yep. 5.12, yep. And 3.72. Perfect. Right, on to the scenario questions. So here we go. Right. Question 1 says, a store has 500... no, it doesn't. A store had 5.75 kilograms of apples and received a shipment of 3.25 kilograms of apples. How many kilograms of apples does the store now have? Okay, so this is, they're increasing here. They're going to have more apples than they started with. So we've got, we're going to be adding them together. So let's go to use the right colour pen. So we've got 5.75 plus 3.25. And here we go. 5 add 5 is 10. 7 add 2 is 9. Add the 1 is 10. Put in the decimal place. Put the 1 down there. 5 add 3 is 8. Add 1 is 9. So that should be 9 kg. Okay. And we can always check with the calculator if we have the calculator. So 5.75 add 3.25. Right, that's 9. Excellent. Okay, right. So we agree with that with the calculator. Let's look at question 2. Question 2 says, Comfort had £12.50 and spent £4.75 on a book. How much money does she have left? Okay, so she had £12.50 and she spent £4.75, so that means we're taking that away from what she had. She no longer has that £4.75. So first of all, we've got 0 take away 5. We can't do that, so we're going to have to borrow from here. So that's 10 take away 5, which is 5. And we've got 4 take away 7. We can't do that, so we're going to have to borrow from this 2. Okay, so we'll turn that 2 into a 1 there, and then put a 14 here. Okay, right, now we've got 14 take away 7 is 7. 1 take away 4 we can't do, but we can do 11 take away 4, and 11 take away 4 is going to be 7. So she should have £7.75 left. Right, let's work this out. 12.5, £12.50, take away £4.75, and that's £7.75 as well. So we agree on the calculator. Right, let's have a look at question 3. And this says, a recipe calls for 2.5 cups of flour, but you only have 1.75 cups. How much more flour do you need to complete the recipe? Okay, so we're going to have to do the 2.5 cups. Okay, and I'll call it 2.50 because we've got 2 decimal places here as well. Take away the 1.75. And here we go, we've got 0 take away 5, can't be done. Turn that into a 4, make that a 10. 10 take away 5 can be done, so that's a 5. 4 take away 7 can't be done, so I have to borrow 1 from this 2. 14 take away 7 can be done, that's a 7. 1 take away 1 can't be done, so that, well, can be done, it just eliminates it all, so that's 0. So we get here 0.75 cups. Okay, and then we can check that out with the calculator. So 2.5 take away 1.75. Here we go, and that's 0.75. Yeah, so we agree with ourselves there. It's all about finding out if the mark scheme agrees. Question 4. A car travelled 45.6 miles and then stopped for gas. After refuelling, it travelled an additional 32.8 miles. How far did the car travel in total? Okay, so it travelled 45.6 miles plus 32.8. Okay. Right, I didn't quite write that low enough. All right, let's just move that up there to give myself a bit more space. So here we go, we're going to have 6 add 8 is 14. Okay, and then we've got 5 add 2 is 7. Add the 1 is 8. And then we've got 4 add 3 is 7 here. So all in all, they'll have travelled 78 miles, 0.4. Okay, so let's just check that with the calculator. Okay. 45.6 plus 32.8. Excellent. Okay, perfect. Right, let's try question 5. So question 5 says, a student scored 85.6% on a maths test and 92.3% on a science test. How much more did the student score in science? Okay, right. So we need to find the difference between them, and the difference means take away. So 92.3 take away 85.6, and we're going to get 3 take away 6. 3 take away 6 will be, we can't do it, so we'll have to borrow from this 2. So 13 take away 6 is 7, carry the decimal place down. 1 take away 5 we can't do, so we'll have to borrow from the 9. We're now looking at 11 take away 5, which is 6. And then we've got 8 take away 8, which is 0. So 6.7%. And let's just try it out on the calculator. So 92.3 take away 85.6. Yeah, and that agrees with that as well. So we'll just tick that there. And now we can go mark it. Okay, so here we go. Let's move over to the marking section. Right, so here we go. 9 kilograms. Yep, perfect. £7.75. Yep. Okay. 78.4. Excellent. And then 6.7%. Perfect. Okay, that's going well. It looks like it looks like we're looking in a good position for getting ready to print the book. Okay, so let's go here and let's make this large. Okay, here we go. Question 6 says a swimming pool initially contained 10.5 litres of water. Okay, right. That isn't much water for a swimming pool, but it doesn't really matter. The question's still fine. It could be an empty swimming pool. With just like the dregs in it, they might be getting ready to clean it. But let's continue. A swimming pool initially contained 10.5 litres of water. After a few hours, 3.89 litres of water evaporated. How much water was left in the pool? Okay, so we've got 10.5, and I'll put a 0 here because we're dealing with 2 decimal places there. And we're taking away 3.89. So we've got here, we can't do 0 take away 9, so we'll have to borrow from here. So we've got 10 take away 9, which we can do, which is 1. 4 take away 8 we can't do, so we're going to have to borrow again. So 0 we can't borrow from, so we have to turn this into the 10. So we're going to borrow from the 10, so that will become a 9, that will become a 14. So we can have 14 take away 8, which will be 6. Then we've got 9 take away 3, which will be 6. So there'll be 6.61 litres left. Right, let's get the calculator out and just check that, because the purpose of this is to check the answers. So we've got here 10.5 take away 3.89, and that's 6.61. Excellent. Right, question 7. Right, question 7. It goes here. A company had a profit of £4,567.89 in the first quarter and a loss of £2,345.67 in the second quarter. What was the company's net profit or loss for the first half of the year? Okay, right, so that means we're going to have to take away the loss from the profit. So we've got 4.567. Oh no, that's just a comma there. I shouldn't put that in. That's just indicating the 1,000. 4.67.89. Take away 2,345.67. Okay, right. This is actually easier than it looks because everything is larger on the top. So 9 take away 7 is 2. 8 take away 6 is 2. Decimal place carries. 7 take away 5 is 2. 6 take away 4 is 2. 5 take away 3 is 2. 4 take away 2 is 2. Okay, so the net profit was £2,222.22. Okay, and again, if we were doing that on the calculator, we'd type the 4,567.89 in first, and then take away the 2,345.67 second. Yeah, that agrees. Okay, right, so we're happy with that. Let's look at question 8. So here we go. Question 8 says, a box contained 5.67 kilograms of oranges. After selling 2.34 kilograms of oranges, how much weight of oranges is left in the box? Okay, so we're going to have the 5.67 take away the 2.34. Okay, and here we go. We've got 7 take away 4 is 3, 6 take away 3 is 3, 5 take away 2 is 3. Oh, lovely. So 3.33 kg. Okay, let's double check. So 5.67 take away 2.34. Yeah, excellent. Okay, so that agrees with that. Right, question 9 says, a marathon runner completed 26.2 miles and then ran an additional 6.78 miles during a training session. How many miles did the runner cover in total? So we've got the 26.2 miles plus, this is a lot of running, 7, 8. I'm going to put the 0 here to make it look more aligned. Okay, so 0 add 8 is 8, 2 add 7 is 9, 6 add 6 is 12, I'll put the 1 down there, and then 2 add the 1 is 3. So it'd be 32.98 miles. Okay, and let's just check on the calculator. So we've got 26.20, add 6.78, Yeah, and that agrees nicely. Okay, so we'll do that there. Right, question 10. A student earned 95.6% on a science test and 92.8% on a history test. What was the difference between the two results? Okay, so what was the difference between the two results? We're going to do the 95.6, take away the 92.8. Okay, 6 take away 8 we can't do, so we borrow from the 5. 16 take away 8 we can do, which is 8. 4 take away 2 we can do, which is 2. And 9 take away 9 we can, well, just eliminates it. So the difference was 2.8%. And I'll check that on the calculator and then we'll just mark it as well. So 95.6 take away 92.8. Yeah, and that's 2.8, so that agrees with that. So let's go over to the marking screen and we can continue. Okay, so here we go. Right. Red pen, here we go. I'm going to move this to the top. So 6.61 litres, yep, that's correct. Yep. Oh, I should have put down that it was profit. 3.33, yep. Yeah, that's correct as well. And 2.8, yeah, perfect. Right, here we go. New topic, 22, right. Oh, this is going to be long. Okay, that's all right. So this one is multiply numbers without a calculator. Multiply decimal numbers without a calculator. So here we go. So again, what I'm going to do is I'm just going to do a lattice method here. So we've got, 1 second. This first one's just a 2 by 2. So we've got 2.5, we've got 0.4. Okay, so 5 times, that's nice with the 0, they're all zeros. 5 times 4 is 20. 2 times 4 is 8. We add down these lines, so that's going to be 0. This one's going to be 10. Put that one there, and that will go here. Oh, and then that's 0. The decimal point, I just kind of follow it down. So it goes here, and then they meet here, and then they go there. So the decimal point will be there. So this will actually just equal 1. Okay, I'm going to leave the calculator for this one, and then we can just see how I've done anyway. Find the product of 3.6 and 0.7. So I'll do the same thing again. Here we go. 3.6, 0.7. Here we go. And then, well, we can see the dot's going to meet in the middle there. So the dot will go here. That's where the decimal will be. The zeros are all there because everything times 0 is 0. 6 times 7 is 42. 3 times 7 is 21. 2 becomes 2. 4 add 1 becomes 5. And 2 is just here. So this will equal 2.52. Okay. Next one. Oh, we've still got a 3 by 3 here. Okay, so here we go. Hopefully you've got enough space for this. It's going to be a bit tight. But it'll be right because most of these are going to be zeros anyway, actually. So 1.25, 0.08. Okay, and just put the lines in here. But all of these top ones are going to be 0 because they're being multiplied by 0. The decimal places, they meet. If we go down here and go down here, the decimal point meets here. So the decimal point will end up being there. And then we've got here 5 times 8 is 40. 8 times 2 is 16. 8 times 1 is 8. Okay, so let's add these up. So 0 is just 0. 4 add 6 is 10, so carry that 1 there. 1 add 8, add 1 is 10 as well. So that's there, so that 1's going to go here. But they're all zeros anyway, so that will be 1, 0, 0. So this equals 0.1. Okay, we don't have to write this 0, and we don't have to write these ones down. Okay, but that's interesting to know. Right. Calculate the product of 0.6 and 0.9. Nice, just a 2 by 2 this time. So 0.6, 0.9. Here we go. Well, the zeros are nice. Those just become 0. And these two will become 0 as well. So actually all we've got here is the 6 times 9. 6 times 9 is 54. And then we follow the decimal places. Okay, so they meet here. So they're going to go down that line. So that's going to be where the decimal place is. So then we've got, in this row, we've just got the 4. In this row, we've just got the 5. And then here we've just got a 0. And then this one's 0 as well, but that doesn't really matter. So this will equal 0.54. Okay, right. Lastly, question 5. Okay, so we've got 3 by 2 this time. Okay, so let's do a 3 by 2. Okay, we've got 4.35 here, and we've got 0.2 here. And then let's see where the decimals meet. Draw in the diagonals. The decimals will meet here, so they'll follow this line down. So this is where the decimal point will end up. And then all of this row is going to be 0, because everything times 0 is 0. And then we've got 5 times 2 is 10, so 10's there, units there. 3 times 2 is 6, so that's 0, 6. 2 times 4 is 8, that's 0, 8. And now we can add up down the diagonals. So this first one is a 0. This second one, we've got 0, add 1, add 6, so that's 7. And this last one here, we've just got the 8. And then this will be a 0. That's a 0 as well, but that doesn't really matter. So this is 0.87. Okay, so moment of truth. I haven't tested it on the calculator, so let's see if I agree with the answers. Right. Okay, so here we go. Right. First one, 1. Excellent, we can see that. That agrees. Second one, 2.52. Yep. Third one, 0.1. Yep. Fourth one, 0.54. Yep. And fifth one, 0.87. Great. Okay, right, let's go to 6 to 10. Right, so here we go. 1 second. Let's make that large. Okay, so here we go. 0.75 times 0.6. So this is a 3 by 2 that we need. So draw a 3 by 2 grid here. 1, 2. Okay, and do the diagonals. 0.75, 0.6. Okay, see where the decimals meet. The decimals will meet here. So this is where the decimal point will go. And then let's start doing it. So this first row is going to be all zeros because they're all being multiplied by this 0 here. And this one will be 0, 0 as well because that's being multiplied by 0 too. Okay, now we've got 5 times 6, which will be 30. And then here we're going to have 6 times 7. 6 times 7 is 42, so that will be here. And then we can add down the diagonals. So that's 0, this one's 5, this one's 4, that's 0, that's 0. So this will equal 0.45. Okay, and I can just leave that there. Right, this time we've got a 3 by 3. Okay, so let me make it a bit bigger. I know that there's going to be, the first 2 rows of this one will be 0 anyway, so I don't need to give loads of space to that. And then, here we go. So we've got here 0.35, 0.05. And then if we do the diagonals like this, okay, but these ones are all going to be 0 because anything times 0 is 0. This one here will be 0, 0 because 5 times 0 is 0. 5 times 3 is 15, so I'll put the 1 up here and the 5 here. 5 times 5 is 25, so I'll put the 2 here and the 5 here. And now I'll start adding up. So, 1 second, let's track where the decimal place is going to go. The decimal point is here and the decimal point is here. So they meet here and then they travel down this line and the decimal point ends up there. So what we get is we've got 5 here, we've got 7 here, we've got 1 here, we've got 0, 0. So here we go. So the answer to this is 0.0175. Okay, right. Next one, question 8. calculate the product of 0.9 and 0.3. So that is a 2 by 2 that I need. Here we go. 0.9, 0.3. Okay, this first row will be all zeros because times in by 0. This first column will be zeros. So actually, we're really just looking at 3 times 9. So 3 times 9 is 27. So I'll put the tens here and the units here. And then what I'm going to do is I'm going to get the 2 decimal points. I'm going to follow them there, follow them to the end. And so this is where the decimal point will go. In this row, we've just got the 7. In this diagonal here, we've just got the 2. This one makes 0. That one makes 0. So the answer to this one will just be the 0.27. Okay, question 9. Right, we've got 3 digits by 3 digits here. So let's make a bigger one for a 3 by 3. Okay. We know that the first 2 rows will just be zeros anyway, but that's fine. So here we go, we've got 0.15, 0.02. Do the diagonals. Okay, I can work out my decimal place here. So they meet here, and so if I follow this down, that's where the decimal place will go. And then I know that these first 2 rows are all 0. And then I know that this one at the end, 0 times 2 will be 0 as well. And then what I've got here is I've got 1 times 2, which is 2. 2 times 5, which is 10. And then I can start doing my adding down the diagonals. So here we go, with that one's 0. This one's 3. That one's 0. That's 0. That's 0. That's 0. So this will be 0.003. Right, okay, last one. So here we go, find the product of 0.08 and 0.07. So this will be, a 3 by 3 again. Okay, so here we go. Okay, we've got 0.8, 0.07. The decimals meet here. So they'll go down to here. That's where the decimal place will go. And then all of these are going to be 0, because 0 times stuff is always 0. This one will be a 0 as well, actually. Oh, and this one will be a 0. So really, we're just actually having to do 5 times 8. Not 5 times 8, 7 times 8. 7 times 8 is 56. Here we go. And if we add down the diagonals, we get a 6 here, we get a 5 here, and that's 0. That's 0. That's the decimal place. That's 0, that's 0. So this equals 0.0056. Right, there we go. Let's have a look at the answers. Okay. So here we go. Right, what have we got? Where are we? Here we go, these ones. So 0.45, yes. 0.0175, yes. 0.27, yep. 0.003, yep. And 0.0056. Excellent, okay. Happy with that. Now we need to move on to the scenario. Okay, so here we go. I will get these up. And let's enlarge this. Now these are the ones I've got to read carefully as well, because I want to make sure that the sentences are nice and clear in the book. So let's have a go. So this one says, a grocery store sells apples for 75 pence per pound. 0.75 pounds per pound. If a customer buys 3.5 pounds of apples, how much does it cost? Right. Okay, so this just really wants us to multiply these two things together. So if it cost, say for example, if I said it cost, if it was 75 pence per pound and they wanted £2, we would just do 75 pence times 2. But it just sounds a bit weird because it's 2 decimals, but it still means the same thing. They want £3.50, so we've got to do 3.5 times the cost per pound. Okay, so this has 3 digits, this has 2. Okay, so here we go, we want a 3 by 2. 0.75, 3.5, doing our diagonals. Okay, and then noughts here, that's nice. The decimal points meet at this point here, so it's going to go there. And then we can fill in the rest. So 3 times 7 is 21. 3 times 5 is 15. 5 times 5 is 25. 5 times 7 is 35. Okay, and then if we add down the diagonals, we get 5 here. We've got 12 here. 1 add 1 add 3 is 5, 6. And then we've got a 2 here, because that's the only thing there. And then a naught there. So that will be £2. That's interesting, isn't it? That is very interesting. £2.62, and then there's the 5 here, but we can't have that. This doesn't make sense. But they said to round to 2 decimal places, so we'll have to round this up. So actually, that's going to be 2.63. So £2.63 is what that will be. Let me just shift that up here. Okay, to put that in the box. Right. Question 2. A rectangular swimming pool is 9.5 meters long and 4.2 meters wide. How large is the area of the floor of the pool if the area of a rectangle is calculated by length times width? Okay, so we are doing 9.5 times 4.2. Okay, so that's a 2 by 2 box that we're going to need. Oh, here we go. Oh, I've made it very small. Oh well. At 9.5, 4.2. The decimals meet here, so they're going to go there. And let's see here. We've got 4 times 9 is 36. 5 times 4 is 20. 5 times 2 is 10. 2 times 9 is 18. So here we've got a 0. Here we've got 1 add 8, which is 9. Here we've got 8 add 1, which is 9 again. And here we've got 3. So the area will be 39.90 meters squared. Okay, right. Question 3. A recipe calls for 2.75 cups of milk, but you want to make 5 lots of the recipe. How many cups do you need? Okay, so we have got 2.75 times 5. Oh, okay, right. It's a 3 by 1. That's nice. So here we go. 2.75 times 5. Okay. The 5's decimal is after the 5. Okay. So if we look at where the decimals meet, the decimals would meet here. And so the decimal point is going to be there. And then we can do the multiplication. So we have got 5 times 5 is 25. We've got 5 times 7 is 35. We've got 5 times 2 is 10. And now we can add up down these diagonals. We've got here 5, we've got 7, we've got 3, and we've got 1. So this equals 13.75 cups. Okay, right. Okay, right, so let's have a look at question 4. Question 4 says that a toy car costs £12.50 and a store offers a 15% discount. How much will the customer pay after the discount is applied? Right, okay, this is a little bit of a test from past questions. So this is expecting you to know that if you want to find out how much this is going to cost with the discount, we're going to do our 100%, take away 15%, which is 0.85. And then if we now do 12.50 times 0.85, we'll get the cost after the discount. So, maybe I should add that formula there, just because this lesson is specifically on that. Yes, I am actually going to do that, because although it's good to challenge you, or the learner, this topic is about multiplying decimals. So that's the skill that this is testing. So one second. One sec. So here we go. So I'm just going to alter that now. No, this is one is here. Right. A toy car costs £12.50 and a store offers a 15% discount. How much will the customer pay after the discount is applied? To apply the discount, you multiply the cost of the car by .85. That's fine. Okay, there we go. Right, a toy car costs £12.50 and a store offers a 15% discount. To apply the discount to the cost of the you multiply the cost of the car by 0.85. How much will the customer pay after the discount is applied? How much? Right, a toy car costs £12.50 and a store offers a 15% discount. To apply the discount, you multiply the cost of the car by 0.85. How much will the customer pay after the discount? I don't think we need to have that bit. After the discount. Here we go. And that keeps it into 2 lines as well, which is nice. Right, anyway, back to answering it. So here we go. So that means we've got to do 12, well, so we're going to need a 4x2, a 4x3 actually. Oh dear. Right, 1 second, so 4x3. Right, that one's fine because that just doesn't really exist. Okay. The last one's just a 0 one as well. So 12.50, 0.85. Okay, let's do in these lines. Okay, the dots meet here, so the decimal place will end up there. This first row is all 0. This last row is all 0 as well, actually. And then we can just do the multiplication. So we've got 5 times 4 is 80. No, it's not. 5 times 8 is 40. 5 times 5 is 25. 8 times 2 is 16. 2 times 5 is 10. 1 times 8 is 8. 1 times 5 is 5. And then we can add up down the diagonals. So we've got 0 here, 5 there, 2 here. This one's quite a lot. We've got 4, add 6, which is 10. Add 1, which is 11, add 5, which is 16. And then carry the 1 there. Here we've got 1, add 8, add 1, which is 10. So carry a 1 here. This one we've got 0, 0, 0, 1. So that will be 10. And then they want the answers rounded to 2 decimal places because it's money, so it needs to make sense. So here we go. This is going to be £10.63 after the discount. Okay. Right. Let's have a look at this one here. And this one says, a tank can hold 25.5 gallons. If each day 2.25 gallons are added to the tank, how much water will be in the tank after 10 days? Interesting. So this isn't a straightforward question, this one. We're going to have to think a bit more about it. So we're starting with the 25.5. Each day we're adding 2.25. How much water will be added? So we're trying to do 2.25 times 10. Okay, so I'll do it the same way that I've done, but there is a trick to timesing by 10. So timesing by 10, if I was doing 2.25 times by 10, I actually just shift the decimal place one place, so that would be 22.5. In fact, I am going to just leave it like that. And then we've got to add on the original. Oh, right. In fact, this 25.5 gallons is absolutely irrelevant to the question. It's just saying, if each day 2.25 gallons are added to the tank, how much water will be in the tank after 10 days? So the answer is just 22.5 gallons. Okay, great. Right, let's mark this round. Okay, so here we go. If we go up to the top, make this on the left-hand side. Get the answers up. Okay, so where are we? 22. No, yeah, 22. Scenario questions. Okay, right, yeah, right. So this one, first one's right. Second one's right. Third one's right. Fourth one's right. Now the fifth one. There was some confusion with this. Okay, so let's work out what we need to do. So 48 gallons. So that answer has come from adding these two numbers together. But the question doesn't actually ask for us to add these two numbers together. So I've got a choice here. I can either change the question to make the answer correct. I think we need to change the question to make the answer correct and say a tank currently holds 25.5 gallons of water. If each day 2.25 gallons are added to the tank, how much water will be in the tank? Yeah, I think that's what we need to do. Okay, and then we can then do, let's alter this as well on our mark scheme. So then we've got 22.5. It's nice to have a bit of a mix-up question here. So that's going to be 0, 1, 8. Oh! No, there's no 1 there. 4. I'm all over the place here. Right, yeah, so that's right. So that's fine. So we just need to change it on here. So here we go. A tank currently holds 25.5 gallons. If each day an additional 2.25 gallons are added to the tank, how much water will be in the tank after 10 days? Okay, I think that's better. Yep. So there we go. So that's that one. So I can, now that that's been changed, I can go back and I can tick that. And we can know that the mark scheme is correct as well. Okay, perfect. Right. Let's have, I'm just going to go grab a glass of water and then I'm going to go have a go at these questions here. But I will leave these up. Oh, sorry. I will leave these up for you to have a look at and I'll be back. No, I'm just getting some water. Sorry about that. Okay, let's have a look at this first question here. So it says here, question 6. Sorry. A sheet of paper measures 8.75 inches in length and 5.6 inches in width. What is the total area of the paper if the area of a rectangle is calculated by length times width? Okay, so here we go. We've got a 3 times 2 here. Oh, one sec. So 3 times 2 here. .75 times 5.6. The decimal points will meet here, so the decimal point will be there. 5 times 5 is 25. 5 times 6 is 30. 5 times 7 is 35. 7 times 6 is 42. 8 times 6 is 48. 5 times 8 is 40. And then we can add up down the diagonals. So we'll get 0, 8, 19, 7, add 1 is 8, and then 4. That would be 48.98 square inches. Alright, and let's try question 7. So question 7 says, a store adds a 10% tax onto an item. How much will the customer pay, including the tax? Okay, so, okay, this is requiring prior knowledge as well, because to increase by this, that means to increase by 10%, we multiply by 1.1. Okay, so remember, you do 100%, add 10%, equals 110%. Then if you divide that by 100, you get 1.1. So anything multiplied by 1.1 gives a 10% increase. So what we'll do here, in fact, I'm going to have to go and change this though, because the purpose of this task is to help people practice multiplying with decimals. So let me just put that here for the time being, and then I think what I'll do is I'll just add that section to it as well. So here we go. A store adds a 10% tax on an item that before costs a store adds a 10% tax on an item that before tax costs £79.99. How much will the customer pay, including tax, including the tax, if to add on the tax, you multiply the cost of the item by 1.1. Yeah, here we go. Is that a bit wordy? A store adds a 10%, or maybe to add on a Okay, here we go. To add on a 10% tax, you multiply the cost of the item by 1.1. If an item costs 79 pence before £79.99 before the 10% tax, how much will it cost, including the tax? Cost after to add on a 10% tax. To apply a 10% tax, you multiply the cost of an item by 1.1. If an item costs to apply a 10% tax, you multiply the cost of an item by 1.1. If an item costs If an item originally costs £79.99, how much will it cost after a 10% tax is applied? Okay, sorry about that. Here we go. So we'll do okay, and let's check where these dots meet up. So this one goes down here, this goes down here. So they'll meet up there. And then we're going to have 9 here. 9 add 9 is 18. 9 add 9 is 18, with the 1 is 19. And then we're on the other side of the decimal place here. 9 add 7 is 16, and then with the 1 is 17. 7 add 1 is 8. Okay, so after the tax, it will be £87, 9.989. We're rounding to 2 decimal places because it's pound and pence. There we go. So after it will cost £87.99. Right. Here we go. Question 8. And this says a rectangular room has dimensions of 10.5 feet in length and 7.5 feet in width. What is the total area of the room if the area of the rectangle is calculated by length times width? Okay, so we've got 10.5 times 7.5. Okay, so we've got a 2 by 3. 10.5 here, 7.5 here. Let me just move that up a bit to make some space underneath it. Okay, so put in the lines. Decimal points meet here, so they'll go there. 5 times 7 is 35. 5 times 5 is 25. 0 times 7 is 0. 0 times 5 is 0. 1 times 7 is 7. 1 times 5 is 5. Okay, so here we go. We've got 5 here. 2 add 5 is 7. 3 add 5 is 8. 7 here. So it will be 78.75 square feet. Right, question 9. A recipe for a smoothie calls for 0.75 cups of berries per portion. If you want to make it for 6 people, how many cups of berries do you need in total? I think I'm just going to say if you want to make 6 portions. I think that sounds confusing. If you want to make 6 portions. How many cups of berries do you need? Okay. Right, so let's go back. A recipe for a smoothie calls for 0.75 cups of berries per portion. If you want to make 6 portions, how many cups of berries do you need in total? Right, so here we go. Right, so that's just going to be, only times 6 actually, so it's just going to be a 3 by 1. So 0.75, 6, divide them all. 5 times 6 is 30. 6 times 7 is 42. 0 times 6 is 0, 0. The decimal point for the 6 is there. So these meet here, so that's where the decimal point will drop. So we've got 0, 2 add 3 is 5, 4 is 4. There we go, so 4.5 cups. Right, question 10. A store sells a product for £2.99 per pound. A customer buys £1.5. How much will the customer pay? This is confusing because this is pounds and weights. I'm going to change that to kilograms. Here we go, just to, because it's not obvious. The store sells a product. There you go. I think that makes that more clear. So I'm getting into that. G. kg. Okay. Right, so here we go. We're doing effectively £2.99 times 1.5. So here we go. So we need a 3 by 2. £2.99 times 1.5. So here we go. 1 times 9 is 9. 5 times 9 is 45. 9 times 1 is 9. 5 times 9 is 45. 2 times 1 is 2. 2 times 5 is 10. The decimals meet here, so the decimal point is going to go there. And then let's add up. So along this row, we've just got 5. Here we've got 5 add 9 is 14. Add 4 is 18. So put that 1 here. 9 add 1 is 10. Add 4 is 14. So put the 1 there. 2 add 1 is 3. Add 1 is 4. There we've got nothing there. They want it to the nearest pence, okay, because it's money. So that's why they've said 2 decimal places. So the 5 is going to make this round up. So the cost of this will be £4.49 for 1.5 kilograms of the product. Right, let's head over to the mark scheme. So here we go. I need to get this. Right. Right, so what we have here, first of all, we've got, where are we? Why have they got 49 square inches? They've rounded it to the nearest whole number. Or have I got it wrong? Oh, I've got it wrong. This here, 5 add 3 is 8, add 2 is 10. So that was there, so that would carry over here, which would make that a 0, which would make this a 9. Okay, right, so that is right on there. So this should be 49. Okay, let me just get rid of that. Okay, that's my bad handwriting. Let's just double check that on the calculator as well. So we've got 8.75 multiplied by 5.6. Yeah, 49. Okay, that's fine. So that one's correct. Next one, we've got £87.99. Yeah. Next one, we've got £78.75. Yeah. 4.5 cups and £4.49. Okay, great. Right, let's move on. Oh, we're almost at page 100. That's good. Okay, right. Divide decimal numbers without a calculator. Okay, right. So I think this might be the last of the non-calculator methods topics, which will be nice. So with these ones, what we do is we just write them like this, 4.5 over 0.3, and then you multiply it by 10 until it no longer has a decimal, and then we can use the bus stop method. So that goes in once, remainder of 1, 5. So that'll be 15. So here we go. You might even know what some of these are. So 72 over 8, we might know that that is just equal to 9. Okay. Here we go. 3.6 over 0.6 equals 36 over 6. 36 divided by 6 is 6. Oh, okay, that's nice. Less bus stop method than I thought. 0.45 over 0.05 is equal to 4.5 over 0.5, which is equal to 45 over 5, which will be equal to 9. Here we go. 7.2 over 0.9 is equal to 72 over 9, which is equal to 8. Okay, right, let's get these ones marked. That was actually a lot nicer than I thought it was going to be. So here we go. We're looking here now. So we've got 15, yep. We've got 9, yep. We've got 6, yep. We've got 9, yep. And we've got 8. Okie dokie, right. Next round. Um, 0.36 over 0.12 is like 3.6 over 1.2, which is like 36 divided by 12. 36 divided by 12 is 3. Okay. 27, so that's 2.7 over 0.09, which equals 27 over 0.9, which equals 270 over 9. Okay, right, well, I'll do the bus stop for this one just because it's a bit easier to do that. So 9 into 2 doesn't go, carry the 2. 9 into 27 goes 3 times. 9 into 0 doesn't go, so the answer to this one is 30. Okay, right, here we go. This next one, what we've got is we've got 0.63 divided by 0.07. So 0.63 over 0.07, and that will be 6.3 divided by 0.7, which will be 63 over 7. 63 divided by 7 is 9. I feel like there's been a lot of 9s as the answer for this one. Right, 0.945 over 0.15. So here we go, we've got 0.945 over 0.15. Okay, and then we can do 94.5 over 1.5. Now, what could we do here? Well, we could actually double both of these if we wanted. So that, because I know that 1.5 is half of 3, and then 94.5, if we double that, well, double 90 is 180, and double 4.5 is 9. So this will be 189. But then I still don't know what 189 divided by 3 is, so I'm going to have to do it like this. Okay, so it doesn't go into 1, into 18 it goes 6, into 9 it goes 3 times, so the answer to this will be 63. Okay, and here we go, 0.99 divided by 0.33, so this equals 9.9 over 3.3, which equals 99 over 33, which you might spot, or you might recognise that this is 3. Okay, right, let's mark these. Okay, so here we go. Oh no, that's not what I wanted to do. I wanted to move it to the side. Right, so let's go up to the top. We're looking over here now. So we've got 3, yep. We've got 30, yep. We've got 9, yep. We've got 63, yep. And we have got 3. Okay, great. Fine, that's perfect. Okay, topic 23 scenario. So here we go. Right, so here we go. For this one, we've got a bakery sold 4.5 kilograms of bread, 0.3 kilogram portions. How many portions were sold? So we're dividing the 4.5 into 0.3. So 4.5 over 0.3 is 45 over 3. Okay, well that's not in the times table, so let's just work this out. So we've got here 3's into 4 go once with 1 left over. 3's into 15 go 5 times, so 15 portions. Here we've got a toy store that has 0.72 kilograms of modelling clay that needs to be divided into 0.08 kilogram packages. How many packages can be made? Okay, so we're going to have to do 0.72 divided by 0.08. This will be 7.2 divided by 0.8, which will be 72 divided by 8. Yep, that's right. And then 72 divided by 8 is going to be 9. Okay, so that's 9 packages. Okay, right. A farmer harvested 3.6 kilograms of apples and wants to distribute them equally into 0.6 kilogram baskets. How many baskets can be filled? Okay, so we're going to have to do 3.6 divided by 0.6, which is equal to 36 divided by 6, which is equal to 6 baskets. Okay, well, we had this calculation before. A restaurant sold 0.99 litres of soup in 0.33 litre bowls. How many bowls were served? So that's 0.99 over 0.33, which I remember equaled 99 over 33, which is equal to 3. So they only sold 3 bowls of soup. Okay, question 5. A recipe requires 0.45 kilograms of sugar and each serving needs 5 kilograms. How many servings can be made? Okay, that does make sense sort of, but I don't think it really does. A recipe requires 0.45 kilograms of sugar and each serving... Right, I'm going to... With each serving being how many servings does the recipe make? A recipe requires 0.45 kilograms of sugar, with each serving a recipe requires 0.45 kilograms. A recipe requires 0.5 kilograms of sugar. If each serving has 0.05 kilograms of sugar, how many servings does the recipe make? Very good. Right, that's that done. Let's solve the question. So, I'll just put a star here to say format. And here we go. So, oh no. So we need to do 0.45 divided by 0.05, which is 4.5 divided by 0.5, which is 45 divided by 5, which equals 9 servings. Okay. Oh, no, I want to mark that first. Yeah, and so let me just... Okay, here we go, 23 we're on. So, oh no, that's the practice, we're on 23 scenario. So 15 portions, yep. 9 packages, yep, we agree. 6 baskets, 3 bowls, and 9 servings. Okay, great. Let's do the next round. Here we go, question 6. A teacher has 7.2 litres of juice to distribute among 0.9 litre cups. How many cups can be filled? So we've got 72 divided by 0.9. This teacher is clearly working in the era of Stanley Cups. So we've got 72 over 9. 72 over 9 is going to be 8. 8 cups. Next one, question 7. So here we've got a student has 0.36 litres of paint and wants to divide it equally into 0.12 litre containers. How many containers can be filled? So we've got the 0.36 divided by the 0.12. This is going to be 3.6 divided by 1.2, which is equal to 36 divided by 12. 36 divided by 12 we know is equal to 3. So 3 containers. Question 8. A mechanic used 2.7 litres of oil to service 0.9 litre engines. How many engines were serviced? A mechanic used 2.7 litres of oil to service 0.9 litre engines. How many engines were serviced? So we're going to do 2.7 divided by 0.9. That will be 27 divided by 9, which will equal 3. Right. Question 9. We've got a store has 0.63 litres of cleaning solution and wants to divide it into 0.07 litre bottles. How many bottles can be filled? So we've got 0.63 divided by 0.07. So that's the same as 6.3 over 0.7, which is equal to 63 over 7. 63 divided by 7 equals 9. So that is 9 bottles. Question 10. A company produced 9.45 litres of hand sanitizer and wants to package it into 0.15 litre bottles. How many bottles can be filled? So we've got 9.45 over 0.15, which is 94.5 over 1.5, and then I'm going to double both of these again. So 90 times 2 is 180, 4.5 times 2 is 9, so that's 189 over 3, and so then I'm going to do this again, 189 over 3, and that's going to be, doesn't go into that, it does go into 18, so that's 6, does go into 9, which is 3, so that'll be 63 bottles. Okay, right, let's get these marked. Okay. Okay, so here we go. We've got 8 cups, 3 containers. Oh no, I made a mistake here. 0.09, I did 0.9. They're correct in the book, I can see it. So that would still be 0.9. So that would be 270 divided by 9. And then we'd work it out like this. So there we go, that would be 0, that would be 2, so that would be 3, that would be 0 as well. And so that would be 30 engines. Okay, so here we go. So that's right now. And this one here is 9 bottles. This one here is 63 bottles. Okay, I just want to check. Yeah, I think those questions might have been repeated, but just in context, which is fine. Okay, right. Here we go. This is an interesting topic, inverse proportion. Okay, right, one sec. Before I continue, I just need to go to, I'll be right back. Right. Okay, right, here we go. So if 3 people working together can complete a job in 6 hours, how long would it take 8 people to complete the same job? Okay, so if 3 people are working together and complete a job in 6 hours, we need to do 3 times 6, which means there's 18 hours of work to be done. And then how long would it take 8 people to do the same job? We just need to divide the amount of work by the amount of people. And then I'm going to use my calculator for this now, because this is often a calculator topic. So 18 divided by 8 will equal 2.25 hours. Okay, and there we go. We can leave it like that. That's perfectly acceptable. If 2 people working together can build a house in 6 weeks, how long would it take for 6 people to build the same house? So 2 times 6 means that it's 12 weeks work for 1 person. Okay, now if there's 6 people, we can divide that by the 6, and that equals 2. So that would take 2 weeks. Okay, let me not underline these because they're not the answer. Okay, right, question 3. If 3 workers can paint a room in 5 hours, how long would it take for 6 workers to paint the same room? So if we've got 3 workers and they're going to be doing it in 5 hours, so that means altogether there's 15 hours of painting happening. So we then need to do 15 divided by the new number of workers, which is 6. So we do 15 divided by 6, and that equals 2.5 hours. Right, next one. Question 4. So here we have, if 8 workers working together can harvest a field in 10 days, how long would it take for 5 workers to harvest the same field? So 8 times 10 means that it's 80 days work for 1 person. So if we've got 80 days work for 1 person, if we share that between 5 people, here we go, we'll do 80 divided by 5. That equals 16 weeks, 16 days even. Right, question 5. Sorry, we lost the question there. There we go. If 8 workers working together can harvest a field in 10 days, how long would it take for 5 workers to harvest the same field? Question 5. If 9 students working together can clean a classroom in 2 hours, how long would it take for 6 students to clean the same classroom? Okay, so if 9 people each give 2 hours, that suggests that 18 hours of cleaning has gone on. Okay, Then if we do 18 divided by the 6 students, that means that they would be required to do 3 hours each. Right, let's get these questions marked. So here we go. Over here. Right, what was this topic again? This was inverse proportion. Okay. There we go. So we've got 2 hours 15 minutes here, or 2.25 hours. So that is fine. Here we've got 2 weeks. Here we've got 2.5 hours there in brackets, so that's fine. We've got 16 days. And we have got 3 hours. Okay, great. Right, let's do question 6 to... Here we go. So here we go, question 6. If 15 chefs working together can prepare a meal... I'm just going to say something about these questions here. So these questions, I couldn't really work out how to write them without any form of context. Okay, so the practice questions will sound like scenario questions for this topic. But that's just because this, I think I was trying to, like, when I was doing the book, I was trying to do the practice and the scenario, but for this topic, I couldn't really work out how you could practice this skill without any scenario or context there. So that's just what's going on with here. Okay, so here we go. If we've got 15 chefs working together, can prepare a meal in 1 hour, how long would it take 3 chefs to prepare the same meal? So that means 15 people all putting in 1 hour, so 15 times 1 equals 15 hours. So there's 15 hours of food prep going on there. If we do 15 hours shared by 3 people, that means the same meal would take 5 hours for them to produce. Okay, let me get rid of that underline there. Right, question 7. If 10 workers working together can complete a project in 20 days, how long would it take for 2 workers to complete the same project? Okay, so 10 people times 20 days means 200 days of labour has been put into that project. Okay, if we're going to share that between 2 people, if we're going to share that work between 2 people, we're going to do 200 divided by 2, which will equal 100 days. So it would take 100 days to complete the same project if there was only 2 workers. Question 8. If 4 gardeners working together can mow a lawn in 3 hours, how long would it take for 2 gardeners to mow the same lawn? So if we do 4 times 3, that tells us that there's 12 hours of mowing going on there. Okay, and then if we've got 12 hours of mowing and we're going to share that between 2 people, we'll have to do 12 divided by 2, which means that'll be 6 hours that they will take. Right, question 9. If 20 workers working together can assemble a product in 3 hours, how long would it take for 5 workers to assemble the same product? So essentially what we're going to do is we've got 20 times 3 means that the product actually takes 60 hours to assemble. If there's 5 people assembling it, we can share those hours between the 5 people and do 60 divided by 5, which is 12. Let me get rid of that because that's not the answer. So 12 hours is the answer. Right, question 10. We've got, if 9 technicians working together can fix a computer in 2 days, how long would it take for 3 technicians to fix the same computer? So let's presume 9 times 2 equals 18 days. So there's 18 days of labour happening there. And then we're going to share those 18 days between 3 people. And that will give 6 days. Okay, there we go. So that's our answer. So let me get rid of that underline there. That's misleading. Okay, right, let's mark these questions. So here we go. I'm going to just move that over here. Okay, so 24 practice, 5 hours, 100 days, yep, we agree. 6 hours, yep. 12 hours and 6 days. Excellent. That's very good news. Okay, right. Now we've got, I've got just like another like 10 of these questions in the scenario section, just because it's a topic that people really struggle with. But these are pretty much exactly the same as what we've just been looking at. So I'm going to just complete these now as well. So if 5 people working together can complete a job in 10 hours, how long would it take 8 people to complete the same job? So we've got 5 times 10 equals 50 hours of work. And then we've got 50 divided by 8. Okay, I'm going to do that on the calculator. So 50 divided by 8 is 6.25 hours. Right. If 12 people working together can build a house in 6 weeks, how long would it take for 6 people to build the same house? So 6 times 12 means 72. So there's 72 weeks of manual labour needed if it was just one person. And then we do the 72 divided by the 6, and that'll be 12 weeks. Okay, that kind of makes sense, doesn't it? If 12 people take 6 weeks, 6 people would take 12 weeks. Question 3. If 3 workers working together can paint a room in 4 hours, how long would it take 6 workers to paint the same room? So 3 times 4 means that there's 12 hours of painting being done there. So if we share those 12 hours by the 6 people, that will be 2. So that will be 2 hours of painting for each person. Right, question 4. If 8 workers working together can harvest a field in 5 days, how long would it take for 12 workers to harvest the same field? So 8 times 5 is 40 days. So there's 40 days harvesting being done. So let's do the 40, let's share it between the 12 people. Okay, so 40 divided by 12, that's not a nice number. So it's 3.3 recurring, or we could say 3 1/3 days. Okay, that's what 0.333 recurring is. Or you could just say 3.3. Both of them are fine. Your calculator might tell you it's 3 1/3. Right. Question 5. If 10 students working together can clean a classroom in 2 hours, how long would it take 5 students to clean the same classroom? So if we do 10 times 2, that equals 20. So that's 20 hours of cleaning. So let's divide that by the 5 students. That would be 4 hours each. Okay, right. Let's get these 5 marked. Okay, and let's get that here. Yeah, they are different. Okay, that's fine. Right, so we've got 6.25. Yeah. 12 weeks. Yeah. 2 hours. They've said 3.33 days. Okay, that's fine. Yeah, you could have had that as well. And then 4 hours here. Perfect. Right, scenario questions for these. Okay, here we go. If 4 chefs working together can prepare a meal in 1 hour, how long will it take 6 chefs? So 4 times 1 suggests that there's 4 hours of work there to be done. Okay, so if we share those 4 hours by the 6 people, 4 divided by 6, I'm going to get out my calculator for this because it's not nice again. 4 divided by 6 equals 0.66 recurring hours. Okay, I am actually going to turn this into minutes. If you've got a decimal hour, if you times it by 60, it will give it to you in minutes. So here, this is actually quite nice, or 40 minutes. Okay, so there we go. So we've got 40 minutes or 0.66 recurring hours. If we were rounding the hours one, we would actually call that 0.67 hours. So all of these things might be acceptable. Right, so this one here, question 7. We've got, if 15 workers working together can complete a project in 20 days, how long would it take 10 workers. Okay, so let's work out how many days labour that is. So 15 times 20. Okay, I'm going to do that here. 15 times 20. So that equals 300 days of labour. If we're going to divide that between 10 workers, that equals 30 days. Okay, so it would take 10 workers 30 days to complete the project. Right. If 6 gardeners working together can mow a lawn in 3 hours, how long would it take for 9 gardeners to mow the same lawn? So let's do 6 times 3 equals 18. So there's 18 hours of mowing happening. So let's share those 18 hours by the 9, which will be 2 hours each. So in theory, if they're all working together, they can mow that lawn in 2 hours. Question 9. 20 workers working together can assemble a product in 8 hours. How long would it take for 5 workers to assemble the same product? So let's do 20 times 8 equals 160 hours. That's 160 man hours there, or people hours, to assemble that. So what we do is we do 160 and then we share those hours by the 5 workers and find out what that is. So 160 divided by 5, 32 hours. Okay, so 8 people are going to do that task a lot quicker. Let me get rid of that underline there because that's not the answer. I just realised up here as well, I've underlined something that isn't the answer also. That's fine. Right. Question 10. If 7 technicians can fix a computer in 2 days, how long would it take for 3 technicians to fix the same computer? So 7 times 2 is 14. So that sounds like that's 14 days of work that needs to be done. So if there's only 3 people, we're going to share those days between the 3 people. And so we've got 14 divided by 3. Okay, and so that is 4.67 hours. And then remember, if I want to convert this into minutes, I'll just take away the hours from this. So that's the decimal time for minutes. And then if I times that by 60, that turns it into minutes. So it's 4 hours 40. Okay, so we've got the 2 options there. Both are fine. They haven't specified if they want it in hours and minutes or if they just want it in hours. So there's no worry there. Both of those are perfectly acceptable. So let's shrink this and then we can mark these ones. Okay. Change my colour pen. Let's get to the top. Yeah, here we go. So question 6, 40 minutes or 0.67 hours. There we go. I haven't put the answer with the recurring sign in there, so that's fine. Next one we've got 30 days. Yeah. Then we've got here 18 hours. Oh, no, that's not what we've got. We've got 2 hours for question 8. It is 2 hours. Sorry, I was looking at the wrong bit. We do agree. Then I've got 32 hours, and I've got 32 hours here. And here we go. Oh, it's days. Okay, right. Sorry, this bit was nonsense. Okay, so ignore that. Ignore that there. This is the important bit about reading the question and not just getting carried away with what you think it might be. So there we go. 4.67 days. Okay, I guess I could have split the day up into hours as well, but I don't think that would make sense because it'd be working days, so we don't know how many hours of the day they're working. Okay, great. Right, so one last topic and then we will conclude for this session. Okay, so I'm going to just get through these. So this is direct scaling up and down, also known as direct proportion. It just says direct proportion here in the answers. I think maybe I actually could just put that here as well. I just want to see. Let's go to Keynote. Let's just see what it says here. Oh, that's good. We're on to the third page of the contents. No, it just says direct proportion there. So, page 106. Yeah, let's just call it direct. Let's just call it direct proportion here as well, just to make it consistent. There we go. That's fine. All right, let's get this back. And then here we go. Right. Okay, question 1. If a book costs £5, how much would 7 books cost? So if 1 equals £5, 7 will be 7 lots because we times that by 7. So that's going to be £35. If a movie ticket costs £12, how much would 4 movie tickets cost? So that would be 4 times 12, which would be £48. So if 1 bag of chips equals £2, then 5, we're timesing by 5 to get there, so that would be 2 times 5, and that would be £10. If 1 shirt costs 15, 2 shirts would equal £30, because that's twice that. Okay. If a pack of gum costs £1, one gum equals £1. 10 gums is that times 10, so that's this times 10 as well. So 10 gums would be £10. Okay, let's get that marked. Oh. Here we go. So we have got 35, 48, 10, 30, and 10. Yep, so they all agree. Let's have a look at this next bit here. So question 6. If 9 pencils equal 450, then 1 pencil will be that divided by 9, and that would equal 0.5. There we go. And we can call it like that. If 6 cans of pop, 6 cans equal £9, then 1 can is this divided by 6, this divided by 6. I'm going to use the calculator for this one. 9 divided by 6. Oh. So 1 can would be £1.50. If 3 oranges equal £2.25, how much is 1 orange? Well, we've just divided that by 3. So 2.25 divided by 3. So that would be 0.75. Question 9. 8 markers equals £6.40. So we want 1 marker. So we've just divided this by 8. £6.40. Divide it by 8. There we go. So if 12 cookies cost £6, one cookie is this divided by 12. So we divide this by 12 as well. 6 divided by 12, and that would be 0.50. Right, let's get these marked. Okay, so we have got 50 pence, £1.50, 75p, 80p, and 50p. Yeah, that's good, that all agrees. Okay, let's have a look at the scenario ones, and then we can go from there. Right, so you are planning a road trip and want to estimate how much time it will take to drive to your destination. You know that for every 60 miles you drive, it takes you 1 hour. How long will it take you to drive 300 miles? So, here we go. We know that 60 miles, what's that? 60 miles equals 1 hour. We need to get to 300 miles. Okay, right. So if we do 300 divided by 60, that gives us 5. So that tells us we are travelling 5 lots of 60 miles. So we're going to try 5 lots of 1 hour. So that would be 5 hours. Right, question 2. You are hosting a party and need to buy snacks and drinks for your guests. You know that, on average, each guest consumes 2 snacks and 1 drink. You are expecting 20 guests. How many snacks and drinks should you buy? Right, so let's do the snacks first. So 1 guest equals 2 snacks. Right, 2 smacks there. Oops. 1 guest equals 2 snacks. Okay, so we've got 20 guests. So that's that times by 20. So this times by 20. So that'll be 40 snacks. And then they get 1 drink. Oh gosh. 1 guest equals 1 drink. So 20 guests, well, would be 20 drinks. So there we go. 40 snacks and 20 drinks. Okay. Right. Your car gets about 25 miles per gallon of gas. You are planning a road trip that is 500 miles long. How many gallons of gas will you need for your trip? Okay, right, I think we should change this to petrol. Here we go. Or fuel. Okay. Okay, so let's do this. So we know that 25 miles equals 1 gallon. We want to get to 500 miles. Okay, so if we do 500 divided by 25, that'll tell us how many lots of 25 that we have. So let's just do that on the calculator. 500 divided by 25. So that's 20. So we've got 20 lots here of 25 miles. So that means we'll have 20 gallons of petrol. Okay, right. You are buying 5 tickets to a concert. You know your friend bought 3 tickets for £180. If the tickets are the same price, how much should you expect to pay? So we know that 3 tickets equals £180. So that means that 1 ticket equals £60. So that means that 5 tickets are going to cost 60 times 5, which would be £300. Okay, right. Question 5. You are making a recipe for a cake that requires 3 cups of flour for every 1 cup of sugar. If you only have 2 cups of sugar, how many cups of flour should you use? Okay, so 1 cup of sugar, S, equals 3 cups flour. So we've got 2 cups of sugar, so that would equal 6 cups of flour. Okie dokie, right. Let's get these marked. Oh, there we go, right. Okay, so this is what we need to do. Here we go. 5 hours. Yeah. 40 snacks, 20 drinks. Yeah. 20 gallons. Yeah. £300. Yeah. And 6 cups. Perfect. Right, here we go. Last 5 questions for this session, and then we'll stop. Okay, so here we go. You are planning a home renovation project and need to estimate the number of tiles you will need. Each tile covers an area of 2 square feet. If your room is 200 square feet, how many tiles will you need to buy? Okay, so we know that 1 tile equals 2 square feet, and we want 200 square feet. Okay, well, if we do 200 divided by 2, that means that that equals 100. So we can see that we've got 100 lots of this, okay, which means that we need 100 tiles. Okay, right. Question 7. You are shopping for a bulk order of pens. If 50 pens cost £20, how much would 100 pens cost? Okay, that's quite nice. So 50 pens equals £20. 100 pens, well, I know that 100 is 2 lots of 50, so that means we're just having to pay this £20 twice, so that would be £40. Right. Question 8. You are organising a charity event. Oh no, how did that Z slip through? 1 second. Sorry. You are organising a charity event for... You are organising a charity event and need to set up a system for collecting donations. A survey suggests that, on average, each person donates £5. If you are expecting 200 people, how much money should you expect to collect? So, if 1 person equals £5, we want 200 people. Okay, so we're just timesing this by 200. We'll times this by 200. So 5 times 200 is 1,000. So there we go. We should expect to collect £1,000. Right, question 9. You are purchasing a new smartphone and comparing 2 models. The battery life of one model is 10 hours, whilst the other lasts 15 hours. How many more times would you have to charge the 10-hour phone than the 15-hour phone during a 60-hour period? Okay, so one charge equals 10 hours. That's for one situation. The other one charge equals 15 hours. Okay, so I want to get to 60 hours for both of these. Okay, right, well I can see that this is this times 6, so that'll be 6 charges. This is this times 4, so that'll be 4 charges. So 2 more times. Right, question 10. You are a freelance graphic designer and charge £50 per hour for your services. If a project typically takes 10 hours to complete, how much would you charge? So, if 1 hour equals £50, we've got 10 hours work here, so that's times 10. We're charging £50 10 times, so that would be £500. Okay, right, let's have a look at getting this marked. That's that there, and then here we go. Get the answers. So first one, 100 tiles. Yep, that agrees. £40, we agree there as well. £1,000, we agree here. 2 more times, we agree here. And £500, we agree there as well. Okay, right, well, thank you very much for joining me. It's been an absolute pleasure to have your company whilst I work through these, and hopefully I will see you in the next live where I will be continuing on with topic 26. Remember, if you need any help with any of these topics, you can try actually pausing the screen and scanning the QR codes that are in the corner. But other than that, what you can do is you can visit the Crack Maths website, and in fact, can I do that now? Here we go. I don't know if you see that. I think you only see stuff that is not maximized screen. So if I go to Crack Maths, you can visit all of these topics on the Crack Maths website. If you go to the resources section, and if you go to tutorials, functional skills and GCSE, then all of these topics are here. If you scroll down, you can start to see them numerically. So we've covered these 1 to 7, that's been done. 8 to 10 has been done. 11 to 14 has all been done. So yeah, we've just finished the proportion section. So next session we're going to be looking at ratio. But yeah, if you wanted to have a go at any of the questions, they are here. There they are. They're all there. And then there's a video for each thing here, which will tell you how to do what we're about to do. Okay, so if that is something that you'd like to do, you can be doing that. You might want to do that before looking at these answers, actually, because the answers are a bit of a giveaway. So you might want to have a go at doing that first. But other than that, thank you very much for watching, and I will see